Welcome to the Spark Your Spark Reflection Call. My name is Yuka, and I will be one of the co-hosts for today's conference call. We also have Maki and Jules who will be co-hosting with me, and I will introduce them later on in this call. But for now, I would like to thank and welcome everyone who is joining us today, and thank you so much for participating with our challenge. And we are one of the members, the three co-hosts from the Soul of Women Global campaign. And this was actually our second challenge that we did on Service Space. And we have co-hosted our first challenge with the Kind Spring team that started in April, called the Reverence Challenge. And maybe some of you have experienced that challenge as well. But I would love to first hand over to Maki to explain a little bit of our second challenge, that was Spark Your Spark Challenge.
Hello, everybody. My name is Maki, and thank you for joining our call today. And I'm really excited to talk to everyone today. This Spark Your Spark Challenge was created by 12 thought leaders around the world, including best-selling authors, scientists, interfaith ministers, artists, healers. So for us, it was exciting to have different people from different backgrounds and professions contributing to this challenge and offering ways to spark our sparks. And actually, we only had like a week to officially invite people to this challenge. And we were so surprised that so many, over like 800 people joining our challenge. So thank you everyone for joining this challenge. The whole purpose of this call is to share stories and tell stories. We would love you to share your thoughts and experience with our 21-day Spark Your Spark Challenge. The key behind this challenge is that they say the research of the importance of sharing it to the group. Talking about what lessons we learned or new questions that arise or stories that they experience. And we love beautiful and insight stories, but we also want to encourage people to share the struggles and sometimes doubt and pain that came up through this experience and challenges, because this is a space of learning, and your opinion and your voice, any of your thoughts, any of your questions, any of your stories gives this nourishment in this environment and these communities. So I would like to have this open, free space to really discuss about our spark and try to create a community that can help that spark becomes much greater spark. So please don't hesitate to share your stories. I'm really excited.
Thank you, Maki, for sharing that. And also, I would like to now welcome Jules, who is also another co-host, and also will be taking care of the technical things during our Zoom call. So I would like to ask Jules to explain a little bit of how our conference will work today. Jules?
Thank you, Yuka. Thank you, Maki. Welcome, everybody, to the Zoom platform. This webinar is going to be set up in such a way that you will have the opportunity to join us in this back room where we are sitting. You can join us either on video or voice alone by raising your hand. If you look on your screen, you put your mouse on your screen, you will see in the upper left-hand corner two boxes that are available, a Q&A box, which is for your comments or questions, and to the right of that, a raise your hand. If you raise your hand, that will let you know that you're interested in joining us in this space, either on video or voice alone. Please know that we are recording this conference, so if you do not want to be seen at a later date in the recording, simply send us your comments through your Q&A or questions. If you have any questions about the process, again, the Q&A is great. And we're just really happy to have you here. And thank you. I'll also be, if there are questions, I'll be posting those to Yuka and Maki. Thank you.
Thank you, Jules. And before we start sharing stories, I would also like to now introduce our special guest. I don't know if she's here with us now, but her name is Jude Curvan. She is a cosmologist, a planetary healer, an author. Hi, Jude.
Hi, guys. I didn't know I was your special guest today. I just wanted to be with you all. Hi.
No. Hi, and I just want to explain to everyone that you were the one that gave us the idea, the challenge for day 2, feel your spark blossom with the flower, cupping the flower. Day 6, spark waves of gratitude. And day 12, find the spark of hope. So we would love to have Jude here and first maybe have share with us a little introduction or anything you'd like to say before we go into storytellings.
Well, I'm delighted to be with you all. As I say, I didn't realize I was your special guest. I was hoping to just be very quiet and listen to all the wisdom and the love. And I've been following the Spark Your Spark, and it's been incredible. It's moved me to tears of joy. It's moved me to massive smiles. The artwork that people have posted has been extraordinary. And just looking at that and feeling that has literally sparked my spark every time. And I guess just to thank you guys, thank Masami, thank of the team, and thank Jules and Yuka and Maki and everyone that works so hard and with such dedication and devotion in service to everyone sparking our spark. And I was joyfully there at the launch, the global launch of the Soul of WoMen in Japan earlier this year with everyone. And for me, sparking our spark in part, and a very important part, is literally integrating all that we are and literally remembering that. And the other thing that just comes to mind is there's a wonderful cave in New Zealand. And in that cave are thousands upon thousands of tiny, tiny little glowworms. And every little worm glows in that darkness. And when one worm glows, all the other worms around it glow too. And the thing that I've been finding from Spark Your Spark is that every time we spark our own spark, we spark it in others. And it just reminded me of those amazing glowworms and how sometimes when it feels in darkness, it never is. But when we spark our spark, we light up for everyone. So thank you again.
Wow, thank you so much. And for that beautiful image of the story of the glowing worm in New Zealand. So we're going to begin, open up the space for everyone. But before we begin, one more thing, we would love to have a minute of silence before we begin. And then after the minute, I think Jules will ring a bell, and that's when we love to open the space for everyone, whoever wants to share their stories or insights, reflection. You're welcome to start taking the stage. So 1 minute of silence, please. Thank you very much.
Love it, Jules.
It's actually quite a special bell. I bought this at Hiroshima a few years ago
Oh,
at the Peace Museum, so it's pretty special. I'm really, really pleased I was able to use it.
definitely.
Thank you.
So, like Jules has told us, whoever would like to begin sharing a little bit about yourself and a story throughout the challenge, we are welcoming you to share with us right now. And we were waiting for people to raise their hands so that Jules can invite people in. So please, you can start by just sharing why you started the challenge, or yeah, very simply, if anyone wants to share. No hands raising yet?
Not
Oh,
yet.
there's a hand.
Oh, we do have one.
Yay!
Yay! Mindy Journey, I'm going to invite you in. Mindy is on her way.
Mindy, hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes!
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you very much for this opportunity. I truly enjoyed the Spark Your Spark Challenge. I was also on the Reverence Challenge, and there was an essence to your challenges that really speak to me within, and I was very excited to see the Spark Your Spark as well. And it has deepened my looking within, and has brought up some issues and questions as well. And I've also got to meet a lot of new people on the Kind Spring site, and that's always a beautiful plus. I have been on Kind Spring for about 2.5, maybe 3 years almost. So it's a big part of my life. I'm surrounded here right now with my stubs. I make these all the time. It's a variation of the peace cranes. I also have made peace cranes with the class and have sent a string of 1,000 to Hiroshima in years past. But the peace doves have become a mission of mine, and I welcome the opportunity to share that with the challenge mates as well. And I thank you for doing this, and I look forward to more challenges from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mindy.
Thank you so much, Mindy. And it's such an honor to finally meet you, because I remember you were on the call with the Reverence Challenge, and we always see your name on the post. And so it's really great to not just hear you, but to see your face as well. And we were so honored to have so much of your stories, and the stories about your crane. You've done, I've heard, like 10,000, 15,000, or right?
And doves. You know, my husband thinks that's a conservative estimate. I put a blessing inside each dove, and I'm in the process of now getting translated in different languages as well. So if you'd like to translate it into Japanese for me and send it, that would be great.
Wow.
I could send you some doves as well. I send them all over the world at no cost to anyone but myself. And it's a privilege to do. I would also just like to, I had a thought and now I forgot what it was. But I do appreciate this all very much, and I thank you.
Thank you, Mindy.
Thank you, Mindy. Mindy, I'm going to send you back to the viewer space.
Okay, great.
But before that, it's such an awkward thing to say, isn't it?
What?
Thank you, sending you back to the viewer space. Thank you.
It's okay, I'll get there.
Mindy, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mindy.
Thank you.
We actually have a question from Nancy Thompson, or a comment rather, a comment and a question. Nancy says, I had a great experience with this challenge. I am more aware of how I can spread more kindness, love, and light in the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you.
That was beautiful. Oh, I think, okay.
Wonderful. And we would love to invite others who are listening with us to come in and join and share your stories. But until we have another participants, maybe the four of us, we can share a little bit of our experience of Spark Your Spark, or anything that came up within us during our challenge.
I am so grateful to meet Mindy, because at the end of July, I met a beautiful couple from Canada, and then I took them to a special place in Japan. I mean, we travel with Yuka and them, and then she brought this crane from Mindy, and she showed it to us that she, you know, they were giving these crane that Mindy made to many places that they go around in in Japan, to leave the peace message. And I was so touched by this crane, and we received one, and we were like keeping it in our house. And I never knew it was. I never knew. I mean, I knew it was Mindy, but I didn't see her. You know, I didn't know her personally. So I was so happy that this Spark or your Spark Challenge connected me to this special person. So I just wanted to share that. I mean, it's so special. Like, I think when we start sparkling, we started seeing and meeting people who are sparkling, sparkling in the world. And unless you started Sparkle, you can't meet these people. And I think this is the special thing, that the treasure that I receive by doing these kind of challenge. You know, the feedback that I receive, which is so something that you can never buy with money, or something that you can never earn, but it just comes to you when you started doing these work.
Very much. And I love that, Mackie, talking about the feedback, because it was actually reading all the feedback. I read it pretty much every day to see how people were responding. And one of the things that really touched me, and I felt was really important about our Spark Your Spark challenge, was that it was true, it was real, and it addressed, as you were saying earlier, the challenges and the difficulties that, you know, being human's all about. And it is that challenge of remembering that we are divine sparks. So I particularly enjoyed the stories of challenges and overcoming challenges and embracing challenges, and finding the support from others when we're at that times of darkness, you know, not just finding the hope within ourselves, but actually seeing it offered to us by others. And that really moved me, and was, for me, was such an important part of the whole challenge.
I would like to speak to one of the challenges that I was so happy that was put out there, and that was, I can't remember which day. It was identify the spark in others. It was pretty important. I think that we get so busy in our life that we forget to tell somebody how important they are, and to help them find their inner spark. You know, we're surrounded with the media with so much negativity in our world and in our lives, that it's so important personally. I mean, for all of us, for me, for the people around me, to just stop and, you know, and say, you know, hey, Jude, you really touched my life today. You really You did, you know, when we were in Japan at the Solar Women Conference, and we hugged, and I could feel your beautiful energy. And it's something as simple as that, where you can just say to another human being, even if it's a stranger. There's a video going around about a man in India, an actor, and he stops an old woman who's 100 years old and asks her for berries, and he tells her how important she is. And I think that if we could just stop and get out of our own way for a second and just share with somebody why we think they're important. Yes. That was for me one of the most profound, was quite profound. So thank you. I learned a lot from that. And it was a reminder to myself to get out of my own way at times. Yeah. So thank you. We thank you. We actually have, which is really wonderful, a few questions. But first, Mindy asks a question saying that Mish would love to call in, that she's on the phone, and how can she do it to get in the queue? And Mish, I'm not really sure. I don't see you in the queue as your name to get in. So my apologies to you for that. And then I have two people wanting to join us. I have Anne first, and I also have a couple more questions, but let's invite Anne Hurt to join us as a panelist. Coming now.
Hi, Anne.
Hi.
Hi.
I think you're on mute.
I will unmute Anne.
Oh, okay.
Where is Anne? Anne, I don't see you. Oh, there you are, Anne. I've unmuted you. You are, please share with us.
Thank you. No, I just want to thank everybody who was involved in setting up Spark the Spark Challenge. It was just so rich, and I wasn't able to participate in any of the feedback, by writing, but it was just, I especially loved the articles that you would refer to, or the videos. Those were really meaningful, and I just can't thank you enough. But I don't know if this is going to work, but I wanted to share something. This past summer, I worked at the Dayton International Peace Museum. This is in Dayton, Ohio. We have a peace camp for children. And when you talk about spark, I mean, children are just so full of life and energy. And right now, in fact, we have our 19-month-old grandson living with us with his mom and dad temporarily. But children are just so full of spark and light. And I'm not sure if you can see this, but this is, I had asked the children to, at the last day of Peace Camp, I had asked them we had talked about what trees can teach us about peace. And I had asked the children, I had given the children a bunch of materials, pine cones, blocks, bark. And this is one, and they had to make a tree. They each had the opportunity to make a tree. I set up like a towel for the area so they could each work on their own or work together. But anyway, this one, I took a picture of it, and it was just extremely meaningful. The kids told us that those acorns that you see are kindness pods, and that they spread kindness to others. And I was just truly amazed at their, this is just one more, at their creativity. I'll just leave it up a little longer. I don't know if you can see it at all. But anyway, and the other thing I wanted to share was that oftentimes I wasn't able to read the challenge for the day until maybe 5 o'clock in the afternoon or something. But it was so amazing how sometimes what was written was I had already done something that related to the challenge of the day before I even read it. And I just it was pretty mystical, or pretty cool. So just thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
Welcome. You're welcome.
Incredible.
That I was finding that, Anne, on quite a few messages, that folks were sort of the synchronicity of being in that particular place where that day's challenge just spoke to them. It was so perfect.
I love the word synchronicity. Thank you. I think there was one of the articles that I especially liked. I think it was by somebody named Laszlo. Was it? Could it be Laszlo?
Dr. Laszlo.
And my mom's ophthalmologist had recommended a book by him. I haven't read all of it, but I have it next to my bed. And then I read this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just amazing.
At least it didn't drop off a shelf and hit you on the head.
So funny.
Maybe have some time. No, it hadn't.
That's beautiful.
This is pretty cool. Thank you so much.
You're
Thank
so
you so
welcome.
much,
Thank you.
Anne. And I'm going to send you back to the viewer.
Great.
Thank you. I'm not really sure how to do it anymore.
Get on, so.
That's all right.
I know that we had somebody else who had their hand up prior to Anne, so if you would like to raise your hand again, please, and I'll bring you in. In the meantime, we have another question or comment, and this is from an anonymous viewer. It's so important to resonate with our inner divine spark. Like Jude said, when we glow in the dark, we can spark the spark within others. We have to remember this when things get challenging in our lives. Let me ask, what has your experience been through this challenge, Maki and Yuka? What is next? Tell us more about the Soul of Women and the connection with the Divine Spark movement. We'll have to leave that to Maki, as Yuka sent us a chat message that she's with her baby. Very good, Maki.
Hi, I thank you for the question. What has your experience been through this challenge? For me, everyday life is about, you know, finding the spark in myself and spark in others. And it's been it's been very interesting that at beginning I was trying to focus in like my spark and trying to look for the spark in others. But as I continuously doing this practice, I realized that when I am like Jules, really what Jules has told us, when I'm sparkling, I see that's the time I can find sparks in others, you know? So it's not about my spark or others people's spark or trying to find the sparks around me, but it's about really connecting to our the source. And when you're connected to the source, you really feel oneness with others, and everything that you experience is about this whole thing, not about myself. But when I'm like working every day in my daily things, daily works, I get so stuck up with this time and the task and everything that it's really hard to connect. I sometimes forget that I need to connect to my source. So these challenges, when I receive in the morning, it really reminds me like what I can concentrate on that day. And when I have this message, it just really keep me going back to what's my exercise for today. And it really helps, no matter what the challenge is, it's really the result is the same. It's where you're supposed to be at that moment. So that was my experience. Like every day it's different, but when you try to do that challenge, I get to the place where I should go. And then that really helped me to realize my spark and the spark around myself. So that was my experience. And well, I wanted, maybe Yuka, do you want to share your experience? No, I think okay. So that was, and the other question was, what is next? Oh, what is next? I'm hoping that this Jude has like gave idea about this Spark Our Spark challenge, and I really love this. And I think Jude have told us about the next version of the Spark Your Spark. She has like planned and the vision, and I really love her vision. So I hope maybe I would pass this to, is it okay to pass to you, and then that you share your vision, beautiful vision to us, and I hope we can do that for our next step.
Thanks, Mackie. The idea I had was that beyond when we spark our spark is actually literally living it. And for me, what Jules has said and what Mackie has said and what Mindy and the others are saying, we're all saying that we don't spark our spark in isolation. Right. We spark our spark together. To live our spark, it's about co-creating and living, literally being sparks and sparks and sparks and sparks. So my idea is that beyond the spark your spark, it's then how do we live it together? How do we live it reflecting with each other? You know, this amazing cosmic glitter ball that we all are. But I also loved some ideas coming forward that perhaps even before that, the idea may be of continuing to just allow the spark your spark to just ripple itself forward for a while. So rather than going immediately into living your spark or living our spark, perhaps we can consider just allowing the spark your spark challenges to continue for a while. But that was my idea. How do we then come together and live our divine sparks?
Thank you.
I love that. I can't wait to participate in that. No, really, that's going to be incredible. And this time we'll have more time, not just a week, to really get it out there.
Exactly.
Let people know about it, and this video obviously is going to help. In the meantime, which is so wonderful, Becky Jane would like to join us. So excellent. I'm going to bring Becky in. Join us, Becky, please. There she is. Hi, Becky.
Hi, Becky Jane. Hi.
Hello. Oh, I have butterflies in my stomach. Being with you beautiful sparkers. I'm just sparkling now myself. Just these radiant faces behind all of these posts that I've been reading, and knowing that this incredible group has held this sacred space for us for this journey these past 21 days. Wow. So I should have probably signed in as my name that you might know me on the board with, which is Penny for Them. I only wrote one post, but I have been along for much of the journey and participating in my heart and in my physical world, and I have 3 children, 2 high schoolers and 1 son, who need and deserve a lot of my attention. So I haven't been able to share as much. But the post that I shared early in our journey together was the one about my aloe plants. And the thing that was missing from my post was the picture of the aloe plants. And so I thought I'd share. So the story that very quickly, for those of you who hadn't read it, was I had ignored this plant, which was much bigger, for a long time, and poor thing. But I didn't ignore it with my attention. It was just in the caring of it. And Kiki was very shriveled up. And the weekend, as Anne, I think, was saying, that the synchronicities of having our things that we're doing aligning already with what the posts were. It was kind of remarkable, because day 2 was the blossom, looking for blossoms and seeds, and it was the gardener one. And I said, well, I just did that. I repotted these plants and gave these plants that were, I think ended up being about a dozen babies that came from this one, and replanted them. And then as I was going on the journey, reading everybody's sparking, I decided to start giving the babies away to people. And so I got more pots, and the babies have gone to different homes now, where hopefully they will be cared for better than I did historically. But moving forward, I'm caring for this baby who may give more babies. But I've been incredibly inspired by everybody sharing and the energy here, and just seeing the faces, such that I try to there was something that we talked about, pushing the edges, and I know in Kind Spring and in Service Space we talk about pushing our edges. And I was going to sell some jewelry that I made. I make these little fairy wings. And I was going to sell them, and I posted them on my Facebook page and told people, they're coming to my store soon. And then when we started talking in our journey with the Spark Course about generosity, and I thought, well, why am I selling them? Now, realistically, I have children that I care for, and my husband and I work to care for them financially. But I thought, what would happen if I did what I did with the aloe plants and just let go of saying that there's a cost to these? And I thought, then the panic set in. Well, how am I going to afford it if somebody on the other side of the world wants me to ship? Well, I'll figure it out. I'll find a way. Maybe somebody would gift. Like Mindy. I mean, Mindy is such an inspiration, how she's got all these birds flying all over the world in the name of peace and love. Like, wow, Mindy does it times 1,000,000. So surely I could send half a dozen of these wherever they need to go. So I taught myself out of my own fear and pushed my edges, and just feel really grateful for not just doing something because that's the way we always do it, and just hope that was meaningful of my share. But thank you all so much for holding this space and for this opportunity to share a little bit of my journey.
Thank you. Oh, Becky Jane, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Becky.
And I do have a couple left. If anybody wants one, you can email me and I'll send it to you. I do have a couple of them left. And they're actually, the brilliant thing is they're from upcycled plastic. There's a very magical process that I learned, and there's Swarovski crystals, darling, on the bottom here. But it's a process, an art process that I learned how to make these. But instead of buying new plastic, I used strawberry tubs from the shops. And upcycled plastics, I've tried very much to infuse my work with upcycling things as much as I can to help Mama Earth.
Make sure you put your information in the chat box. So
yes, please get in touch with me. And if there are more requests than I have made, then I better get busy.
I want one of your aloe babies.
Oh, do you think they'd mail well? Do you think it would mail?
No.
Maybe Jude can fly one over for me.
I could try that. Or Becky Jane, perhaps you can call one of your babies Jules.
Oh.
Well, I was wondering what her name was. So there we go. How about I just call her Jules, and then it would be like, you do own her, Jules, in my home, but she just happens to live in my home.
Oh, well, let her procreate, Lord.
Jules, my aloe plant. I love it. I love her.
Wow, I'm feeling very fertile. It was such an honor. Thank you.
Blessings, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Becky Jane. That was brilliant.
That was. And Mindy, that was wonderful. Mindy Journey has requested in chat to speak on behalf of Mish, who is unable to get on, just to read a little message. So I'm going to, Mindy, you're still there, so I'm going to promote you to a panelist. Mindy Journey, let's see.
Here you are.
There you are, Mindy. I'm going to unmute you. Hi, Mindy. I know that you wanted to read for Mish.
Yes.
Great.
Yes. She's able to listen to the call, but unable to get in the queue to speak. So I asked her to email me what she'd like to say. She's been very supportive of this challenge and weaving all behind the scenes all the time. So here's what she has to say. This is from Mish. Thank you for sparking our spark. For me, it made me look deeper at my own practices and increased my gratitude for them. It was sort of like a refresher course of the power of our light for me, which enabled me to go deeper inside and receive expansion and growth. One of my favorite challenges so far. Thank you so much. And then she has this really beautiful graphic, but I don't know how to send it to you. So.
Hold it up. Oh, you can't. Telephone.
Oh,
But
okay. Well, I do hear, well, anyway, it's of a piece with everybody on its wings, and it's very nice. So I wanted to read that for her. And I also, as
Thank you.
issues come up and people speak, I am overwhelmed with such good feelings. The synchronicities have been amazing as well. And I would read the prompt later in the day too and be astounded, like, oh my gosh, this fits so well in with my life. We are truly so connected in more ways than we even can begin to realize. And something like this that connects us globally, we do get a tiny peek into our global connect. So I thank you once again. Blessings.
Thank you, Mindy. And thank you, Mish.
thank you, Miss.
Thank you, Mish and Mindy.
Okay. I can go back into.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. We have a couple more questions. Or actually a comment, and I'm not sure what book they're speaking about, but we have a lot of anonymous viewers today, which is great. Says, I just got a book on hold today at the library that someone recommended to me in a conversation during the challenge. I'm not sure what book you're speaking about. Perhaps if you want to type in the chat so you can let other people know about this, that would be great. And then somebody asks, I just want to make sure that nobody else is, no. Somebody else asks, what are the everyday tools we can use when we feel the challenge in our daily lives? Anonymous. Anybody want to answer that? What are the everyday tools we can use when we feel the challenge in our daily lives?
I guess I'd suggest something. What I find is my biggest challenge is if I'm not present, because if I'm not present in the here and now, I can be worried about the future. I can be regretful of the past. I can, when I think we're present, and I mean present in our hearts, in the here, in the now, in our hearts, and just take a deep breath into our hearts. I find just taking that so simple, but just stopping for a moment in all the busyness and the running around and just breathe into our hearts for a few moments. And for me, that makes a massive difference. And it's so simple.
Thank you, Jude. I also have another question coming in. I want to learn. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to also and speak to the first question about the struggles. Yeah. While watching that Spark Your Spark challenge and reading the posts, there was a few commonalities how people took in the struggles or challenge by first acknowledging it and saying that it's not working, but still always holding the positive together with the negative, so not denying it, not suppressing it. And also the community, just supporting them and sharing messages. I thought the Spark Your Spark challenge itself and the post itself was like a beautiful tool to overcome struggles, and when you can't see the hope, there's at least other people holding that space of hope for
reflecting
you.
It for you, yeah,
and reflecting for you. And so I thought that this challenge itself and the community that we had, I think really was one of a beautiful way to really gives us an environment to really look into our struggles and find hope and positivity even amongst the most difficult times. So I just wanted to share that, what I've learned from the challenge posts.
So true. Thank you, Maki. I'm sorry, Yuka. My apologies. We have another person asks, an anonymous viewer again asks, I want to learn more about SOW, the Soul of Women, meaning this is a Soul of Women challenge, ? Correct? So what I'm getting from that, they want to know how Soul of Women, how this sparked from, I mean, this really is the child. from the Soul of Women, the Spark Your Spark challenges, the 21-day challenges. So if somebody would like to address the Soul of Women and how that began, or what Soul of Women is for this person asking. Anybody?
Okay, I'll go, but I would love to have others add into it. Soul of Woman is a global initiative, and it started from another project called the Fuji Declaration. So it's under the Fuji Declaration movement, and the Fuji Declaration is really to declare that we all have a divine spark within us, and that started 2 years ago. This is our second year, and last year we started the Soul of Woman Global Initiative. And in order to bring out the divine spark within all of us and to see the divine spark in all of us, we wanted to first invite in the beauty of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and to have both qualities balance in to create a beautiful, more harmonious world. Because today we are seeing a lack of, not just lack of, but the imbalance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and we're not really expressing the true divine feminine and the masculine qualities that we actually have. And so the Soul of Woman initiative is really to focus on bringing out the more authentic, the more powerful qualities of the divine feminine and the divine masculine within each individual. We're not talking about men and women. We're talking about the qualities that we all have. And in order to have that balance back, really brings out the divine spark in us. But I would love both Maggie, Jules, and Jude to share a little bit more from your perspective to share about Soul of Woman.
Perhaps I can go next in that case, Yuka, and thank you so much. That was so beautifully expressed. I was invited to be a founding signatory of the Fuji Declaration, which of itself came out of the amazing work that Maki, Yuka, and the Seonji family, and Jules and Masami and all the team have been doing, which is the Goi Peace Foundation. And so I'd like to sort of take the Soul of Women back to a sense of peace and wholeness, because that's really what it arose from, I think. And when our world is sort of in pieces, or has been in pieces, and it's time to be at peace, and in doing that, that journey of healing, that journey into wholeness, calls on us, as Yuka said so beautifully, for us to spark the divine spark within each and every one of us, the divine spark that is all we call reality. And to do that in our human experience as spiritual beings, having a human experience, and for our world, not just for each of us individually, but for our whole world, is to literally integrate the divine feminine and the divine masculine attributes. The ancients understood the importance of this. They had what they call a sacred marriage, where the attributes of feminine and masculine came together to support each other, to be mutually supportive, authentically, and in doing so, to literally, that in itself sparks the divine spark. So it feels to me that this is an ongoing journey that we're all on, and I'm just so absolutely wholeheartedly grateful to be a fellow traveller and a member of our joyful community doing that. But and I'm actually the European launch of the Soul of Women is taking place in September up in Scotland, and I'm sure Jules and Yuka and Maki, you can put the details of that on the chat, but that's still open to invitation if people would like to be part of that. So it's a beautiful, wonderful initiative, and for me it was so important that the Soul of Women wasn't just the soul of woman, it was soul of we men, masculine and feminine together. So thank you.
Thank you, Jude. Maki, would you like to speak to this?
Yes, about really the balancing of your divine feminine and divine masculine, and it's all connected to living the divine spark within ourselves. But when you say live your divine spark, it's sometimes it's difficult. Like, where is my divine spark within myself? But when you break down that divine spark into balancing divine masculine, divine feminine, it's much for me it's easier to grasp. Like when some challenges occur in my life, I look at myself and see, is my divine feminine and divine masculine really balanced? And then usually it's not in balance. Sometimes I just try to expand too much and is not connected to my source, and these you are able to see where you are, where your balancing point are, and you are, by seeing it, you can adjust within yourself to really get to the place where what Fuji Declaration calls as divine spark. So I think the initiative of Solo Women is really a community which tries to bring back the balance in within ourselves, the divine feminine and divine masculine, and at the same time really think about how do we bring back the balance in the world, in the society. Because I think by bringing back the balances, we will stop cutting down the trees. We will stop.
All of it.
We'll expand what we, but at the same time really think about what the world and universe, what the definition of the expanding for the universe and the earth, and this holistic views and this vision of oneness is really included in all the communities of Solo Women, and it's like Jude has explained. The launch in Europe is starting in September, and launch in South America is planned in at the end of October. And so we're hoping that many branches around the world is really creating a community which tries to seek out the balance of divine feminine and divine masculine. So please, we will put the website address in the chat. So if you're really interested in this action and work, please check out our website. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Maki. I'm just gonna, for myself, as a mama to sons, to 3 sons, as a woman, it's such a responsibility to raise our sons, to have this nurturing soul. And we can do it one-on-one with our children, but what I love about this project is, again, sharing what all of you are saying, is the balance of masculine femininity, and we can teach our sons. But what's even more wonderful is now we can bring it to the world, and we can share it, and we can help. And there's so many positives to masculine energy and so many positives to feminine energy, and I think sometimes we forget that. So it allows us, the Soul of Women, to share with one another all those beautiful positive aspects. And I hope that people one day have the opportunity to visit the website and learn about the history of where Soul of Women came, that it started in Japan among these incredible, strong, beautiful women as a means to help the masculine energy understand the divine femininity and really just join together. So for me, that's really my joy in all of this, is seeing that happen for so many who struggle with embracing both aspects of their divine feminine and divine masculine, and bringing them together and knowing that it's okay to have both. Actually,
we all have both.
That's right, to celebrate it. That's right. But so many people fight it in their lives, and they fight it, but to celebrate it. So that's my happy part of Soul of Women. And and just to play off of the European aspect is they're going to be actually hosting a webinar just like this, that there'll be a part of it for about 30 minutes to an hour that will be live.
Great.
I believe with you and Fumi Johns, Caroline, and a great panel of people in Scotland. So
I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, it's so exciting, and it's literally sparking so much beyond that. So literally, we are glowing together, and yeah. And Maki, you were saying about the South America launch as well. So I don't know if there's any folks who've been with our Spark Your Spark Challenge that are based down there, but I'm sure folks would love to hear about that as well.
I'm sorry, was that you?
So I was just saying, Jules, I'm sure Maki was talking about the South America launch of Soul of Women, and that sounds very exciting too.
We haven't. It will be held in Buenos Aires on October 30th with Dr. Laszlo and hopefully my mother Masami Sayonji is planning to go there, and we haven't decided the program yet. It's coming soon. By starting, it's the evening, like from 6 o'clock, and maybe we will try to work out the webinar if it's possible, like the one we are planning to do in Scotland, so that people from different countries can also join in to see what's happening. And I hope connection around the world really helps, like Yuka said. The community really helps us to guide our journey. So I look forward to be connecting to all these beautiful souls around the world to create a world which is more divine feminine, divine masculine balanced world.
Very much. Thank you, Maki.
Thank you, Maki. And I also just wanted to mention, going back to the 21-day challenge, I think it was Jude who came up with another idea of a challenge after Spark Your Spark Challenge, Living Your Spark Challenge, right? So we hope to create another 21-day challenge for everyone to join in to continue to Spark Your Spark Challenge. And we hope to really keep going, and as Soul of Woman create more and more challenges. And I just wanted to mention one person. I'm sorry, my computer shut down, so I can't pronounce PJ Peak. I'm sorry, I forgot his name. Just wanted to share that they hope that this challenge keeps going, and not just maybe for 21 days, but 21 weeks. And she just wanted us to, or he, I'm so sorry, I'm not sure, but wanted to say that. And although this person can't join us on Zoom today, they really wanted this message to be shared on Zoom.
Much.
So I wanted to invite that comment in, and hopefully we can continue together of creating these challenges.
Thank you. I just want to comment on a couple more. I know we're going to be closing soon. We've approached the hour, but there are a couple more Q&As that would be great if I can just mention. Another anonymous viewer wants me to mention the book that they received, and the book is called Hardwiring Happiness by Rick Hansen. So she says, I was just riding the synchronicity wave that it would show up on the day of the event. Thanks for offering this challenge. It will shine on for a long while for me. And I hope you, anonymous, come back for the next one and the next and the next and the next. Really. And then we have Raj Bind asks, or comments rather, this has been such a beautiful journey. We've enjoyed traveling with everyone here. Our sparks have become brighter as a result. Will there be a Soul of Woman launch in Savrav? you didn't complete your question. So if you want to finish that question or join us by asking it, either raise your hand or please write in text in a Q&A of where you're asking. Ah, in Canada. Ha 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 ha. She's laughing or he's laughing. That's great. I wish you could all see this, by the way. So in Canada, will there be a Soul of Women in Canada? Question.
I've met Savraj. She was the lady who brought Crane to Yuka and us.
Oh, great.
So I met her last month and we talked. She's a beautiful beautiful lady, and she was asking us about doing something for 21 days challenge or this peace work or solo woman. So I hope maybe she can start this beautiful community in Canada, and
Great.
we would love to work with Sabraj. So I look forward to speaking with her.
That's awesome. Are there any final questions from anybody? Any final words? Panelists?
From me, just to say my wholehearted gratitude to everyone who has been involved with this, and I can't wait to keep going. So thank you all.
I would also like to say thank you to everyone who participated in the call, and it was just like just watching everyone speak up, like it goes back to what Jude was saying, and the sparks glowing and one person glowing just really brings others to spark, and I really saw that in the conference call too. So, and I send all my love to people who are not here with us but who were in the challenge together, and yes, hopefully to be continued. And thank you, Jude, for this sudden guest call, and it meant so much to have you with us, and so glad that you were here with us and all the other participants too. So thank you from Yuka.
Bless you, Yuka, and Maki and Jules, and my love to everyone who participated, and not just on our call, but everyone. You said over 800 people have been journeying together.
Yes, 860.
Wonderful. Well, my love to everyone.
It's incredible. Just really quick, people are asking how they can learn more about Soul of Women, and if they can be put on an email list. It's really simple. Go to fujideclaration.org and get on our mailing list. I'll put it in the chat, the website, how you can join and be on the mailing list. And of course, on our Facebook page, Soul of Women, we'll be having notices there, and on the Fuji Declaration Facebook page. There are a lot of ways to stay connected. So I will put the Fuji Declaration website in chat and also on our Facebook pages. Maki, anything you would like to add?
Well, I just really enjoy connecting with the people, not only through the 21-day challenge post, but really actually onlinely. I couldn't see all the people's faces, but I feel so many people. I mean, this energy of this connection of the people who are trying to live for the same work. I mean, same vision. It really makes me glow, and I hope that this kind of community stay connected and help each other to brighten our spark. So thank you, everyone, and thank you, Jude and Jules and Yuka, for this time together. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Maki.
And we're going to end. So final words before we close. Goodbye. Until next time. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank and bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.